What's going on, everyone? I'm AB Sports. Rookie offensive players are producing at a level like never before in the NFL. I made a video a few weeks ago about the top 10 rookie wide receivers, and I linked that in the description, and I'm going to follow it up with today's video of the top 8 rookie running backs, because much like the 2020 wide receiver class, the 2020 running back class has played fantastic in their first year in the league. At number 8 is Bills running back Zack Moss. Moss was drafted in the 3rd round and missed the first few weeks of the season with an injury, but when he came back, he looks like the better of the Bills running back duo of he and Devin Singletary. Josh Allen doesn't throw the ball to running backs all that much, and actually the Bills don't run the ball very much at all, but Moss was effective with the ball in his hands, with 481 yards and 4 touchdowns on 4.3 yards per carry throughout the season. At number 7, and it may seem low, but here I have Chiefs running back Clyde EdwardsHelaire. He was the first running back taken, but I just wasn't too impressed with him this season. On an offense where he is the 4th or 5th scariest weapon, he should have been able to do more. He was able to gain over 1,000 total yards and did look shifty, but he scored very few touchdowns and was terrible in short yardage situations. Also, his smaller size made him a little more injury prone. At number 6, Antonio Gibson. Gibson was a 3rd round pick, and he actually played wide receiver at Memphis in 2019. In the NFL, he transferred over to running back, and he was fantastic for it being his first real experience playing the position. Gibson finished 16th in the NFL and 2nd among rookies with 11 touchdowns and was the key part of Washington's offense. He had a breakout game on Thanksgiving where he obliterated the Cowboys. Who knows, maybe Gibson, Terry McLaurin, and Taylor Heineke can win the NFC East again next year. At number 5 is Lions rookie running back DAndre Swift. Swift didn't take over the starting role until halfway through the season, which is typical for rookies. Also, a few of the games he was slated to start in the second half, he was out with a concussion. But when Swift was out on the field, you couldn't deny that he was dynamic. By far the best pass-catching back of this group, Swift is agile and can run over defenders. I think he's going to have a good career, but with such a small sample size, I couldn't rank him over some of the other guys. But side note, draft DAndre Swift in fantasy next year, because Jared Goff is going to dump off so many passes to him. Number 4 is Cam Akers. Akers is in a similar situation to Swift, where he didn't start until midway through the year, but when he did take the reins, he was electric. He broke out on Thursday Night Football with 171 yards against New England, and I swear he ran over someone on all 29 carries in that game. Akers also had 176 yards in the Rams' playoff win against the Seahawks. This was a game where Jared Goff had a broken thumb, so the Rams relied heavily on Akers for all of their offensive production, and he delivered. At number 3 is the player who led all NFL running backs in yards per carry in 2020, and that is Ravens' 2nd round pick J.K. Dobbins. Dobbins got more playing time around week 12 after he showed his explosiveness and limited action early. From week 12 to week 16, he had at least 50 yards and a touchdown in every game. And then in week 17 went off with 13 carries for 160 yards and 2 touchdowns. These numbers corresponded with Baltimore's 6-game win streak at the end of the year. The Ravens cut Mark Ingram to give the reins over to J.K. Dobbins to lead Baltimore's rushing attack with Lamar Jackson for years to come. As good as all the other young running backs on this list have been, they weren't even close to the top 2. There were 7 running backs in the NFL this season who had over 1,400 total yards. Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara, Dalvin Cook, David Montgomery, Aaron Jones, and the 2 running backs that I'm about to talk about. Number 2 is James Robinson, the undrafted free agent rookie who the Jags liked so much at training camp that they cut Leonard Fournette. Robinson was an absolute bell cow for the Jags this year, with 20 touches per game. In just 14 games, he totaled 1,000 rushing yards and 10 touchdowns on the year. He was the lone bright spot on the 1-15 Jags, and he was what the defenses were scheming against, not Mike Glennon or Gardner Minshew. In 2021, the defenses are going to be scheming against Trevor Lawrence, and James Robinson will be able to punish defenses by running wild. But number 1 is Colts running back Jonathan Taylor. The Colts drafted Taylor at the very beginning of the 2nd round despite having a ton of running back talent already on their roster. Marlon Mack, Nyheim Hines, and Jordan Wilkins were all in place, but they took a chance on Taylor. And he started off really slow, with only 428 yards in his first 10 games. He hit a low point against the Titans midway through the year, in a game where he had 7 carries for 12 yards. But After that, Taylor went on a tear. He closed the season with yardage totals of 91, 90, 150, 83, 74, and 253 in Week 17, and had 8 touchdowns over that 6-game stretch. He finished with 1,169 rush yards, which was good enough for 3rd in the NFL, and 12 touchdowns. What a fantastic pick by the Colts. You know how they can limit turnovers by their newly acquired quarterback Carson Wentz? By handing it off to number 28 all game long. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel and share it to a friend. Thanks for watching.